Take a seat and bear me company, Jane. Please God, it is the last meal but one you will eat at Thornfield Hall for a long time.
I sat down near him, but told him I could not eat.
Is it because you have the prospect of a journey before you, Jane? Is it the thought of going to London that takes away your appetite?
I cannot see my prospect clearly tonight, sir, and I hardly know what thoughts I have in my head. Everything in life seems unreal.
Except me. I am substantial enough. Touch me.
You, sir, are the most phantom-like of all. You are a mere dream. He held out his hand, laughing.
Is that a dream?
Said he, placing it close to my eyes. He had a rounded, muscular, and vigorous hand, as well as a long, strong arm. Yes, though I touch it, it is a dream, said I, as I put it down from before my face. Sir, have you finished supper?
Yes, Jane.
I rang the bell and ordered away the tray. When we were again alone, I stirred the fire, and then took a low seat at my master's knee. It is near midnight, I said.
Yes, but remember, Jane, you promised to wake with me the night before my wedding.
I did, and I will keep my promise, for an hour or two at least. I have no wish to go to bed.
Are all your arrangements complete?
All, sir.
And on my part, likewise,
he returned.
I have settled everything, and we leave Thornfield tomorrow, within half an hour after our return from church.
Very well, sir.
With what an extraordinary smile you uttered the word very well, Jane. What a bright spot of colour you have on each cheek, and how strangely your eyes glitter. Are you well?
I believe I am.
Believe? What is the matter? Tell me what you feel.
I could not, sir. No words could tell you what I feel. I wish this present hour would never end. Who knows with what fate the next may come charged?
This is hypochondria, Jane. You have been overexcited or overfatigued.
Do you, sir, feel calm and happy?
Calm? No, but happy. To the heart's core.
I looked up at him to read the signs of a bliss in his face. It was ardent and flushed.
Give me your confidence, Jane, he said. Relieve your mind of any weight that oppresses it, by imparting it to me. What do you fear? That I shall not prove a good husband?
It is the idea farthest from my thoughts.
Are you apprehensive of the new sphere you are about to enter, of the new life into which you are passing?
No.
You puzzle me, Jane. Your look and tone of sorrowful audacity perplex and pain me. I want an explanation.
Then, sir, listen. You were from home last night.
I was. I know that. And you hinted a while ago at something which had happened in my absence. Nothing probably of consequence, but, in short, it has disturbed you. Let me hear it. Mrs. Fairfax has said something, perhaps, or you have overheard the servants talk. Your sensitive self-respect has been wounded.
No, sir. It struck 12. I waited till the timepiece had concluded its silver chime, and the clock its horse, vibrating stroke, and then I proceeded. All day yesterday I was very busy and very happy in my ceaseless bustle, for I am not, as you seem to think, troubled by any haunting fears about the new sphere, etc. I think it a glorious thing to have the hope of living with you, because I love you. No, so don't caress me now. Let me talk undisturbed. Yesterday I trusted well in Providence, and believed that events were working together for your good and mine. It was a fine day, if you recollect. The calmness of the air and the sky forbade apprehension regarding your safety or comfort on your journey. I walked a little while on the pavement after tea, thinking of you, and I beheld you in imagination so near me, I scarcely missed your actual presence. I thought of the life that lay before me, your life, sir, an existence more expansive and stirring than my own, as much more so as the depths of the sea to which the brook runs are than the shallow of its own straight channel. I wondered why moralists call this world a dreary wilderness. For me it blossomed like a rose, just as sunset, The air turned cold and the sky cloudy. I went in. Sophie called me upstairs to look up at my wedding dress, which they had just brought, and under it in the box I found your present, the veil which, in your princely extravagance, you sent for from London, resolved, I suppose, since I would not have jewels, to cheat me into accepting something as costly. I smiled as I unfolded it, and devised how I would tease you about your aristocratic tastes, and your efforts to mask your plebeian bride in the attributes of a peeress. I thought how I would carry down to you the square of unembroidered blonde. I had myself prepared as a covering for my low-born head, and asked if that was not good enough for a woman who could bring her husband neither fortune, beauty, nor connections. I saw plainly how you would look, and heard your impetuous republican answers, and your haughty disavowal of any necessity on your part to augment your wealth or elevate your standing by marrying either a purse or a coronet.
How well you read me, you witch,
interposed Mr. Rochester.
But what did you find in the veil besides its embroidery? Did you find poison or a dagger that you look so mournful now?
No, no, sir. Besides the delicacy and richness of the fabric, I found nothing save Fairfax Rochester's pride, and that did not scare me, because I am used to the sight of the demon. But, sir, as it grew dark, the wind rose. It blew yesterday evening, not as it blows now, wild and high, but with a sullen moaning sound, far more eerie. I wished you were home. I came into this room, and the sight of the empty chair and fireless hearth chilled me. For some time after I went to bed, I could not sleep. A sense of anxious excitement distressed me. The gale, still rising, seemed to my ear to muffle a mournful undersound. Whether in the house or abroad I could not tell at first, but it recurred, doubtful yet doleful at every lull. At last I made out it must be some dog howling at a distance. I was glad when it ceased. On sleeping, I continued in dreams the idea of a dark and gusty night. I continued also the wish to be with you, and experienced a strange, regretful consciousness of some barrier dividing us. During all my first sleep, I was following the windings of an unknown road. Total obscurity environed me. Rain pelted me. I was burdened with the charge of a little child, a very small creature, too young and feeble to walk, and which shivered in my cold arms, and wailed piteously in my ear. I thought, sir, that you were on the road a long way before me, and I strained every nerve to overtake you, and made effort on effort to utter your name and entreat you to stop. But my movements were fettered, and my voice still died away inarticulate, while you, I felt, withdrew farther and farther every moment.
And these dreams weigh on your spirit now, Jane, when I'm close to you, little nervous subject. Forget visionary woe, and think only of a real happiness. You say you love me, Janet. Yes, I will not forget that, and you cannot deny it. Those words did not die inarticulate on your lips. I heard them clear and soft, a thought too solemn perhaps, but sweet as music. I think it is a glorious thing to have the hope of living with you, Edward, because I love you. Do you love me, Jane? Repeat it.
I do, sir. I do, with my whole heart.
Well, he said, after some minutes' silence, it is strange, but that sentence has penetrated my breast painfully. Why, I think because you said it with such an earnest religious energy, and because your upward gaze at me now is the very sublime of faith, truth, and devotion. It is too much as if some spirit were near me. Look weak, Jane, as you know well how to look. Coin one of your wild, shy, provoking smiles. Tell me you hate me, tease me, vex me. Do anything but move me. I would rather be incensed than saddened. I will tease you and vex you to your heart's content when I have finished my tale, but hear me to the end. I thought, Jane, you had told me all. I thought I had found the source of your melancholy in a dream.
I shook my head.
What? Is there more? But I will not believe it to be anything important. I warn you of incredulity beforehand. Go on.
The disquietude of his air, the somewhat apprehensive impatience of his manner, surprised me, but I proceeded. I dreamt another dream, sir. The Thornfield Hall was a dreary ruin, the retreat of bats and owls. I thought that of all the stately front nothing remained but a shell-like wall, very high and very fragile looking. I wandered, on a moonlight night, through the grass-grown enclosure within. Here I stumbled over a marble hearth, and there over a fallen fragment of cornice. Wrapped up in a shawl, I still carried the unknown little child. I might not lay it down anywhere, however tired were my arms. However much its weight impeded my progress, I must retain it. I heard the gallop of a horse at a distance on the road. I was sure it was you, and you were departing for many years and for a distant country. I climbed the thin wall with frantic, perilous haste, eager to catch one glimpse of you from the top. The stones rolled from under my feet. The ivy branches I grasped gave way. The child clung round my neck in terror and almost strangled me. At last I gained the summit. I saw you like a speck on a white track, lessening every moment. The blast blew so strong I could not stand. I sat down on the narrow ledge. I hushed the scared infant in my lap. You turned an angle in the road. I bent forward to take a last look. The wall crumbled. I was shaken. The child rolled from my knee. I lost my balance, fell, and woke.